In today's video, I am going to be playing a 9-hole tournament at Albatross Indoor Golf in Ancaster, Ontario. This is 9 holes, does not take handicaps into consideration. Straight up golf and see who can be the lowest. Let's jump into the best of the best and see how I can do. All right, so here I am at the opening hole for this 9-hole tournament. I apologize for the pronunciation, but it looks like this is Kentetsu Kashikojima. So I'm going to try and have a good opening tee shot. This is an opening par 5. A little bit left, please avoid the trees. I didn't quite draw around, so that left it open, which is going to be kind of tricky. Okay, it looks like the tree shouldn't be a problem. I should be able to get up and over those and back into the fairway. And I think this is actually a great opportunity for the newest club in my bag. I now am the owner of a 4 hybrid. That is lovely. Just what I wanted. Clear the bunker. Oh! Almost just what I wanted. Just trying to get on the green in regulation and work with it from there. So I dialed back a little bit on that power, but doing so actually really helped because I didn't get as much spin as I would normally get. So that released really well. And now I have a decent look at a birdie putt here. So this feels very fortunate after moderately spraying that drive. The gimmies are also set as low as possible on this tournament at 3.28 feet, I believe. So everything needs to be like really close and around the hole. Turn in. Yes! What an opening start. Not a great drive, but really nice shots after that. Opening birdie. So the second hole here is a par 4, 350 yards away. That was better, but also sprayed a little bit left. I was trying to draw. Oof. So this is going to be a hard shot. I think I'm going to have to just punch out into the fairway and try and save a bogey here. All right, so it's only 100 yards out of there. I'm just going to choke way down on this 8-iron and just kind of punch it. Okay, so it got out of that, which is the most important. And now I can be 65 yards and try and get on the green, see if I can 2-putt for bogey and call it a day. That felt really smooth, and that was a wonderful shot. Couldn't have asked for anything better, except going in the hole. But that's getting a little too greedy. But this has left me a really short, straight-looking putt. I should be able to tap this in. There we go. That's a successful par. Playing for bogey at that point ended up giving me a great opportunity to actually save the par. So what I want to do here is maybe course correct a little. I've been trying to draw the drive twice. It's bled out to the left. So I'm going to aim a little bit more to the right here. There we go. And that ended up being a really nice drive right in that little gap. Nice. And I'm glad I corrected to the right because if I didn't, that would have been in the left rough. I've got a 9-iron because I would like to be a little bit shorter of this hole than longer. Pulled it a little bit to the right, but that's going to bounce on there. That's going to be a really tricky putt. So 52 feet, quite a bit uphill. Doesn't look like it moves a ton, though. I don't know if that's too firm. I don't know if that's really good. Yeah, definitely too firm. Not terrible. So that was a really good par again. Heart's starting to race now. 3 good holes. Very nice. There we go. Swing's starting to feel like it's coming through a little bit better now. That felt nice and clean. Didn't quite draw in and around. Oof, almost too clean. It didn't check up at all, so this is going to have to be a chip and a putt to save a par. So I've got my 60 degree here because I don't want this to go too far. I do want to get over this little ridge that looks like it starts here. So just a nice, easy, gentle pop-up, and maybe it'll release just a little bit towards the hole. Oh, it hit the pin, and I'm glad that aimed properly because that came out a little bit more firm than I was anticipating. So that could have gone way past the hole if it didn't hit it. There we go. Again, a good par save. Hole 5 is a par 3, 145 yards away. So it just had enough to clear. I didn't quite hit that as flush. That was a little bit on the toe, but that's okay. I'm on the green, just trying to 2-putt for par. That's my goal with all par 3s. Is that going to get up there? Get going, get going, get going. Needed a little bit more. I've left some work for this par. There we go. Nice 2-putt for par. Move on to the next hole. This is long, straight, and narrow, and trees on it, all sides. Its swing's been feeling pretty good. We'll do that slight adjustment, just 1 notch maybe to the right side of the fairway. I don't want to overcompensate because there's not much room to really miss on either side. Oh, it's holding. Maybe it'll hit and kick to the right. It's right on the edge. Okay, didn't make it back to the fairway, but that adjustment that I made was huge because if that would have landed 2 or 3 yards more to the left, I would have been in real trouble. All right, so 170, 175 is usually my 7-iron when I hit out of the fairway. So I'm still going to use that out of the rough because it probably won't go as far, but that's important for me here because I do not want to go long of this hole. I just had to pause for a second because as I was getting set up, I don't know if you could hear that, but somebody in the next bay sounded like they had some sort of, let's call it a guttural moment. All right, let me try this again. That felt good. Oh, it didn't quite draw in. It started to, and it stayed off to the left. That was decent distance. I think if it would have drawn around a little bit, I would have still had a good putt here, but now this is a bit of a tricky chip, but not nearly as difficult as if I would have gone long over the green. So I'm going to go back and chip with this 60 degree, which is the one that I just hit the hole a couple holes ago. I'm just going to aim a little bit to the left here. Very delicate chip. That was nice. Oh, twice. Very close to chipping in 2 times now. Now let's try and save this putt. There we go. There's the little bit of a draw this time. It's going to hold into that bunker, which is fine because it's being a par 5. I don't need to get there in 2. All right, so my goal here is to be about 160 yards straight towards that bunker. So then I'm about 80 or 90 yards into the green. Just like that. So that should be really good. I've left myself almost 90 yards to the green. Nice smooth 60 degree coming up. A little bit toey on that one, which then knocked off the distance, but at least it's on and it's a putt. Oh, I pushed that way too far left. It's not going to move that much. I got a little bit nervous in terms of the power. I pulled too much off that time. Okay, there we go. It did start to move there at the end, but it just held on. Really good pace to keep enough of that line. Good par. This par 3 is 185 yards, which is a pretty good distance for my 6-iron. It is a little bit downhill too, so I don't have to try and muscle up on this one. Just hit it nice and smooth and easy. I'm going to need a big hop there. That was a little bit toey. There's a good release. Okay, on the green. Let's get that putter and try and make it in 2 more. This is a long birdie. Looks like it's just ever so slightly uphill. It almost looks like maybe it goes down and then up. Can't really tell too much, just kind of guessing off the heat map there. Looks like a little bit down, a little bit up. 37 feet. Okay, it zooms in, so it likes that view, which is nice. Oh, right on the edge. A little too firm. All right, there we go. I adjusted just enough to the left. I got the par. And let's see what we can make of this 9th and final hole. Bit of a tricky looking dogleg right par 4. If I can hit the draw that I did on the last drive, that would be really nice here. So I'm not going to adjust much. I think I've got a feel for it now. There it is. It's trying. I don't know if there's wind or something. It looks like it's centered back in. But it stayed in the fairway there. Leaves me 185-ish to the pin. That was toey. So that's going to be short. It's zooming in a little, so it likes it. That checked up really nice. Really good swing. Chance to save the par. And it looks like it's straight in, about 5 feet. Don't need to complicate this one. Slightly uphill, but whatever. There we go. Hit that a little too firm, but luckily that was on line. All right, so there we go. Not a bad 9 holes at all. I played that at -1. Congratulations to whoever Capeeps is. You're currently 2 shots better than my score is. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you being here. It would be really helpful for me if you click like and consider subscribing, because at least clicking like lets the algorithm know that you're enjoying the content that you're seeing. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and have a lovely day.